To finish off, I want to read you guys something here. 102 likes, 24 retweets, 2,254 quote tweets on that why women's hockey doesn't belong in the Olympics article. I don't remember the last time I saw a ratio that bad in hockey, but it's there. I wanted to mention this because, I stayed up to watch the U.S.-Canada women's game. Coming off of the Habs and then the All-Star weekend, which sucked, the intensity of watching that game, and I know it's probably, the American and Canadian games. You just kind of look at the effort there and the skill, and of course, Marie-Philippe Poulin scoring that penalty shot. Of course she did. It's her. Just shut up. What an awful article. Haley Salvian had a good article that I think people should go check out too.
She had a great metaphor too that really resonated to me. China has won the last 30. Why are you laughing, Alex? China has won the last 32 of 37 ping pong tournaments, table tennis tournaments. While that is not as big of a sport, I guess, over here, no one is telling them that there shouldn't be table tennis because there's only one clear nation really that's going to dominate in it. I mean, how the hell are you supposed to grow a game if you're just gonna take it out? It's a process. It takes time to grow games. It takes a process to make games accessible and to make them more enticing to people. So I truly do believe women's hockey will become a much powerful, stronger sport and following in a matter of time. But scrapping it all together, because that just makes no logical sense.
Do you guys see who won Group B?
Was it
Japan won Group B?
Yeah.
Japan.
Good for them.
That's over the Czech Republic. That's over Sweden. Which I'm just trying to tell, like, hello, Matt. Like, yeah, it's just such a ridiculous thing to say.
It was such a Bush League argument too.
I couldn't even read the article
because
of the fact that, well, I don't have a Toronto Star subscription, so I got hit with a paywall. I don't know about you guys, but I got the gist of it from what I read all across like the Twitter sphere and stuff like
Abomination, Domination.
Yeah, literally.
That should be the title of the show. But it's like, of all the newspapers, I was surprised it was that one, by the way. It was just, what a Bush League like argument to make. Because it's not good right now, we should scrap it until it's good eventually. How does that make sense? Like, what's the Olympics there for? Other than political statements, what's the Olympics there? What's the Olympics there for?
Like
competition for the good of sport, grow sport for growing. You know what I mean?
Right. We gotta talk about why they're wearing masks on. I'm kidding, sorry. I'm not touching that can of worms.
Yeah, you're gonna kill us,
like,
Mike.
There's no like investment. Investment matters. I mean, it's not a matter of the fact that Olympic hockey or women's hockey doesn't belong at the Olympic Games. These women, these women can skate. They can shoot. They're really good. They're really good. But they just, there's no proper investment in it. What is the point of scrapping something like this altogether when there are still so many little girls growing up that are idolizing these people as these players? Like, you're just going to take that away. Like, they dream for years. And this is already a sport that already spits in the face of women's hockey when you're downright canceling tournaments instead of postponing them and not giving them chance to showcase themselves. Like, I think if they're, you just got to invest and make it work. And then you won't have to have this kind of argument.
I think, I don't know if you guys listened to, I think it was Monday's STP. I think Adam Wilde had it like spot on in terms of like the story we should be talking about is the success of programs, whether it's men's, women's, whether it's soccer, whether it's hockey, whether it's basketball. We should be talking about programs that are that have succeeded from growing from a small program to a bigger program. We're currently seeing that with Soccer Canada, and I hope someone writes that story if it's not already written. I think they talked about Germany. We have to talk about how are we going to get from point A to point B. We shouldn't be talking about we're at point A and we're never going to get to point B. Never should not be the vocabulary. We haven't put enough resources into women's hockey to say it's never going to work. Like, that's just plain false. Plain false.
You know what I love?
Tell me.
You know what's great to help build the women's game? Women, like female riders, completely, lowering the value of the game. Like, what are you thinking? What benefit do you see to writing that? Yeah, you get mad clicks from it, but you're just doing so much work undone by that.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
it's
give your head a shake.
sensationalism,
Who
and
needs to
yeah,
lie?
exactly. I don't understand why sensationalism like this has to come out when women's hockey, you're just kicking them when they're down. They've had to endure so much in the last, this pandemic has put such a bigger toll. I know a girl that had to take a year off in the NCAA because of the fact that the Ivy League just couldn't support women's hockey for a year. She had to take a year off. Now, obviously, you that shouldn't happen. She's one of those hardworking girls I've seen, and she couldn't play for a year because of that. And the same thing goes for these girls at the U18 championship, and now the same goes for anybody who has something to say about the Olympics. Even though the women's hockey in the Olympics is alive, you're basically just saying, oh, we should just. You're agreeing with these same the IHF, the same different federations that are saying, oh, well, we had to cancel it. You're basically saying, okay, well, we might as well do that for this too. And that's not right. That's not right. That's not right at all, because, we talk about growing the game so much among different races with your stupid little state, whatchamacallit, Euro series. What do they call it? When the NHL goes global series.
Yeah, global.
You talk about how much you're growing it, and you talk about how much you grow it rightfully in markets like Vegas, where we saw that they have a 300% increase in players signing up to play hockey there. That's amazing. But what has the sport done to grow the women's game? It's done what it can to grow hockey in the desert, apparently, and try and grow it across the pond in places like Finland, Germany. Look how far Germany has come as a hockey nation. But we're talking about women hockey players who have the same type of dreams that us guys do growing up when we want to play hockey. At the end of the day, when I grow up and say I have a daughter and a son, and I got to tell my daughter, no, you can't really make millions and have the same kind of experiences as your brother if he grows up one day to play in the NHL. That's just not right. I understand viewership. I understand all that stuff. I understand how economic models work when it comes to all this stuff. But just flat out giving up on it is pathetic.